Coach, I guess obvious question, just from your observations without watching film, how Tolu was able to get in the rhythm today in his first game back.
Good to have him back. We were all excited for him today. Certainly didn't know how he would play, but got off to a great start. I don't think he missed a shot from the field, maybe one free throw. And I thought it was interesting as the game unfolded that, especially, I guess it was new guys and the guys over here. They just basically, it wasn't us telling them, but they knew that throwing the ball, when he was open, they made a concerted effort to get him the ball. And we're always trying to play inside out, for the most part, but I thought we had some reposting today that we haven't been doing as much, and that was strictly on their own. And then as the game progressed, they started giving him a little more attention, and I thought he made some decent passes out of the doubles or the digs, whatever you want to call them. But I'm just happy for him and his family. It's been a long road. Their whole family has handled it great. His mom and dad are great people, and they've been very supportive of me and the team while he, was on the mend. And for him to come back and get off to such a great start, it's got to make him feel really good.
And just I guess update on Andrew Taylor. Didn't see him today.
Yeah, Andrew's not with us right now, and it's a personal matter.
And questions for Coach, raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. We'll go to Justin, and then we'll go back over to the other side.
Chris, just how important was it for Tolu to get this game under his belt before Saturday's SEC opener and then the stretch of games you guys have coming up?
We'll find out. I don't know anything about the future, but certainly on paper, it was exciting for us to know once we got the word that he was going to be released and going to be able to play in this game. And he didn't have a minute restriction. He had got to the point in practice where they had taken that off too, and certainly we were still watching it because he wants to be out there, every play. And we get to tiny arguments about, hey, you need to get out this rep. So we went back and forth with that. But we ended up playing 19 minutes. That was probably more than I probably thought when I went in the game. But I didn't have a number, but it was huge. It was huge, even though he's a vet. But just to get comfortable again, get some confidence in himself and get out there and play. And hopefully it'll help him and us as we open SEC play.
Go to Benjamin on the end to Coach's right.
We saw a nice game from Trey Fort. Yeah, he bounced back, knocked down 3 3-pointers. What did you see from him that you liked, and what's that do for his confidence going into conference play coming up?
What I liked is he practiced very well since he returned from Christmas. That's what I liked. That's why he got in the game earlier than most. And I don't know, it's whatever. It's a coach's thought process, but I just believe that if you have the right mindset every day, and when things aren't going your way, and maybe your work you're putting into it is not paying off like you want it to, your time's coming. If you keep your attitude the way it needs to be, and you keep working, you'll get paid for it. You'll reap the dividends, and Trey did that this week. Since he's been back, he's had more focus. He's tried to defend and play the way we want him to play, and not necessarily the way he thinks he should play. And he's certainly got a lot of ability. You can see that on the court, and especially when he can just jump up there and knock him down. That's a big shot in the arm for us, and it gives us more spacing on the court. And but his clock is more determined by the other end. He can't be a weak link for us. He's got to buy into it all the time, and I can't imagine that this can't make him feel really good going forward, that he knows what he needs to do now.
We'll go to Tanner, second row middle.
Coach, the rotation with Tolu and Jimmy today, how well do you think that worked today, and how big is that kind of consistent post presence going to be when you guys get into conference play?
It's a good question. I haven't figured it out yet. It's going to be a work in progress. We're going to have to figure it out here in practice, and certainly in the early games. But it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. And Jimmy's, people ask me, hey, when Tolo's back, how is Jimmy going to handle it? I'm like, I didn't even think about it. He's such a great guy, and he's been encouraging Tolu and excited for Tolu. And I think his mindset is, hey, when I'm not in there, now there's another guy that's going to keep wearing him down. Is going to keep pounding him like I do, and maybe it'll soften him up a little bit. But That's a great question, and it's something that we're gonna have to figure out going forward.
Go back front row, Justin.
Chris, you mentioned it before, just about the Southern and Georgia Tech losses following you guys through the year. What type of opportunity, with you guys now at full strength, do you think you have to sort of neutralize those two losses with these bigger SEC games coming up? Again, having Toby back in the mix with that.
Yeah, I mean, what we've done is not gonna go away, good and bad. Like, it changes though, because of analytics and the net, and that changes, you know, daily. Sometimes there's big changes, sometimes there's small changes, and we can't do anything about it. You know, it's out of our hands. All we can do is watch, you know, pay attention, which unfortunately I do already. But in terms of, you know, what's ahead of us is like, that's what I told them, you know, the next day, that the loss versus Southern is not going to be the determining factor of how our season unfolds. We're going to have so many more opportunities the rest of the season, especially when we get into SEC play, that it's not going to be that factor. You know, and we determine if it's even a factor at all, to be honest with you. But it's not something, you know, that we talk about on the daily, but certainly as a coach, I understand, you know, what it's done for our resume, and we got to do our best to try to